This video is a collection of 6 tips that are random and have no order that I use to receive revelation. I don't go into a lot of detail, but hopefully you'll get enough information that you can at least start pondering some of these things, and I'll flesh them out later. Number 1, don't reveal the mysteries of God unless He tells you to. Alma 12:9 is a very important commandment regarding the mysteries of God. It says, "Many people know the mysteries of God, but they are strictly commanded to only share that portion of His word that He grants to humanity according to the heed and diligence they give to God." You will be tempted to tell others about your revelations, even though commanded not to. How could you not want to share that light? But they are on their own path and may not be going in the same direction as you are. So be careful sharing your revelations. Wait until He tells you who you can share them with and when. Number 2, you still have to live in the mundane world. This was a difficult lesson for me. It had been a very spiritual week. I was learning so much and my mind was so open that I felt like I was walking between two worlds. The veil was so thin. Coming down from the liminal space between the mundane world and the world of revelation felt like a huge spiritual letdown. How could I continue a normal life after being shown so much? Let me jump in to say that I hate loading and unloading the dishwasher. Washing dishes seems like the very definition of tedious and mundane. So the morning after that week of revelation, I trudged into the kitchen to unload the dishwasher. I was in a petulant mood, wondering why God wouldn't take these meaningless tasks from me. But that morning, I felt okay. I did the dishes with intention. It reminded me of a story about a Zen master whose student asked him, "What do I need to do to get enlightenment?" The Zen master replied, "Chop wood, carry water." As powerful as your revelations may be, you still have to live in the mundane world. You still have to chop wood and carry water. You still have to do the dishes, go to work, watch your kids, and pay the bills. As limited beings, we cannot live in the world of constant light and revelation. We're just not in a physical form that can handle it. God isn't going to remove you from the mundane world. I mean, living in this mortal existence is what we're here for anyway, so it's important to see the sacred in day-to-day life. Number 3, don't tempt God asking for the same revelation. This is another one that tripped me up over and over. When God gave me a revelation I didn't like, I'd ignore it and ask the same question, hoping God would change His mind. I've gone years ignoring a revelation that was plain as day. When you ask for a revelation, be prepared for something you were not expecting. And when you get that, don't discard it and re-ask for the same revelation. If I ignored an answer long enough, sometimes God would give me exactly what I was asking for, even if it seemed like it wasn't in my best interests. That's the danger of asking for the same revelation continually and not taking heed. Don't ask for revelation lightly. Ask for revelation with intention and then follow through. If you're just starting out, be gentle with yourself. If you have a hard time accepting revelation, as you mature, you'll get better and better at asking for something you are ready for. 4, revelation is a process, not an event. I used to think revelation was some kind of event that happened and then was over, like when Joseph received a revelation that went into the Doctrine and Covenants. What I've discovered is that revelation is a process, not an event. Maybe another way to put that is revelation is a skill that you can learn. Before I lay out the process I use, let me say that I used to be a software developer, so my brain thinks like a programmer. I break things down into steps and procedures that are easy for me to follow. So this list of steps may be a bit clunky, but it's how my brain works. This is my process. First, I cultivate a desire to believe in something new I've discovered. Second, I follow the steps in Alma 32 to grow that desire into the seed of faith. Third, I continually ponder the mysteries of God with an expectation that He will answer. Step 4, He does answer in His own time, and often with something I didn't expect. 5, I try to resolve the contradictions between the lower law I was living and the higher law I was shown. Sometimes it's taken me years to accept a higher law. 6, I open myself to additional revelation. I may not be able to understand it yet, but I know there is more. 7, repeat steps 1 through 6 to get better at receiving revelation. Like any skill, you'll suck in the beginning, so be gentle with yourself and realize you're going to get better at it. 5, don't ask about the TV yet. When I first started receiving revelation, I wanted God to reveal the big stuff right away. But that is a trap, one I fell into many times. My friend once joked, "I'm not ready to ask about the TV because I already know the answer and I'm not ready to give it up." There is wisdom in that. If you ask for revelation and receive it, you may be bound by a higher law. and disobeying it can lead to a pause or regression in your spiritual progress. Asking for things you aren't ready for or understanding of laws you aren't able to obey can lead to frustration and unbelief. When I was younger, I thought I was ready for any revelation, so I asked God to show them to me. I was definitely not ready for many of them. Many times, I don't feel ready for revelations. I know they are going to be difficult, and I'll learn things that I don't want to know, but are required for my progression. Moses also wanted to see the big revelations, and God flatly said no. This is in the book of Moses, chapter 1, in the Pearl of Great Price. Moses beheld the earth, even all of it, discerning it by the Spirit of God. And Moses called upon God, saying, "Tell me, I pray thee, why these things are, and how you made them." And the Lord God said to Moses, "For mine own purpose have I made these things. Here is wisdom, and it remains in me. But only in account of this earth, and the inhabitants thereof give I unto you." In your excitement, you'll ask for things that aren't in your best interest, but that's okay. It's like any skill, line upon line, precept upon precept. If you get discouraged, reread Alma 32. There are many tips and tricks in that chapter to help you get back on track. By the way, I don't mean TV is bad for everyone. We each have our thing that we aren't ready to give up, and TV was my friends. Number 6, revelation is not always fun and can be terrifying. Without a doubt, I've come down from some revelations with a sense of joy, wonder, majesty, and awe, and other times it's miserable. I'm much more cautious about what I ask of God because some of the revelations are just awful. For example, these two are given to Enoch in Moses 7. "And he beheld Satan, and he had a great chain in his hand, and it veiled the whole face of the earth with darkness. And he looked up and laughed, and his angels rejoiced." And then this one, "And it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Enoch, and told Enoch all the doings of the children of men. Wherefore Enoch knew, and looked upon their wickedness and their misery, and wept and stretched forth his arms, and his heart swelled wide as eternity, and his bowels yearned, and all eternity shook. And as Enoch saw this, he had bitterness of soul, and wept over his brethren, and said unto the heavens, I will refuse to be comforted." One day, your path of revelation will come to this. You'll see Satan with unimaginable power over people you love. You'll see the whole face of the earth covered by darkness. You'll see the wickedness and misery of mankind. It feels terrible. And like Enoch, you may find yourself saying, "I refuse to be comforted." But let me point out the second half of Moses chapter 7, verse 44, which I left out above. "But the Lord said unto Enoch, Lift up your heart and be glad, and look. And the Lord showed Enoch all things, even unto the end of the world. And he saw the day of the righteous, and the hour of redemption, and received a fullness of joy." You'll also have to go through what Enoch went through. You may refuse to be comforted, but also like Enoch, God can show you the atonement and that you can receive a fullness of joy.